Hey man, big shout out to the underground community. I want to talk about this upcoming matchup. I did a poll on my channel about Yordenis Ugas and Mario Barrios. They're going to be fighting on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo, September the 30th. That will be next weekend. And I was looking at BoxRec, checking out, you know, these guys' record and looking at the stats. We got Mario Barrios listed at 6 feet tall, excuse me, with a 70-inch reach, and then they got Ugas listed at 5'9", 69-inch reach. And what you call it? Barrios has been more active. He fought in February of this year, February 2023. He beat Giovanni Santiago. He got the knockout. I believe it was the 8th round. And Ugas' last match was versus Errol Spence, where he was stopped. Errol Spence had a great performance versus Ugas, and he came up short. And both of these guys share one stoppage loss. Barrios was stopped by Tank, Javante Tank Davis, and Ugas, of course, was stopped by Spence. But total, Ugas has 5 losses, and Barrios has only 2. And his losses was, of course, one to Tank and then one to Keith. Ugas, quite a few losses, but notably at welterweight, Errol Spence, that loss, and then Porter, where in the fight it was kind of questionable when he fought Porter. A lot of people felt he won it. At first watch, I definitely felt he won the fight. I didn't even watch it twice, but I thought Ugas beat Porter. Thought he outboxed him. But Smooth Face, aka Ugas, I was actually looking at it. I'm like, why does this nigga don't have no facial hair, man? Turns out he got alopecia, the same thing that Jada Pinkett had. When Chris Rock made the joke about G.I. Jane and Will Smith went up and slapped him. So I reserved some jokes because I'm like, oh, okay, he's struggling with some issues. So he's got alopecia, but it has not stopped him from pursuing his dreams of becoming a world champion or whatnot. But when I did the poll, first off, I mean, like in the beginning, it was kind of close. It was like 50-50. And at one point, I believe Barrios was ahead. Now, when I look at the poll, it got Ugas ahead. But Ugas has been inactive. He's coming off of inactivity and the loss. So, I don't really know mentally where Ugas is at going into this fight. Mario Barrios, I feel like he's not really a true welterweight, but he is tough. He's definitely tough. I think he gave a good account of himself versus Keith. Actually, I watched the highlights of that, but I didn't really watch the full fight. But I did hear, that he did give a good account of himself, and for what I've seen from the highlights, he seemed like he did okay. But that was Keith's first fight after a long layoff. Um, yeah, I think Keith is done or something. Keith don't want to fight no guys, but he's entertaining a fight with a female, Carissa Shields. So I don't know what's going on with Keith Thurman. I felt like Keith, if anybody, should have been jumping at this opportunity. You got the WBC interim title on the line. And whoever wins this fight between Barrios and Ugas will position himself to potentially fight the undisputed champion next, Bud Crawford, depending on what he decides to do. If he stays at welterweight, they could be in line to fight for the WBC belt, along with the other straps, that come along with fighting the undisputed champion. But it's tough to really make a pick on this one. It's an intriguing matchup. I do like Barrios. I like Barrios' hunger. He's humble, and I feel like he's he don't duck no fades. And as a boxing fan, not a fanboy, as a boxing fan, that is what I like. Somebody can have losses, but I like someone who has the mentality of I'm not going to back down from no fights. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to get in the ring with whoever, and try to position myself to fight for a world title. That's what it should be about. Um, Most of these other guys are just talking about, oh, money, the money ain't right, or give me 50-50 and shit, instead of putting themselves in a position to get the world title, then you can demand the paydays and you can get the bigger split and all of that. So I like Barrios because, like I said, he don't duck nothing and he's humble. Ugas, on the other hand, when he beat Manny Pacquiao, I definitely seen him change, and I saw Errol Spence mention this. He said he knew he had he had Ugas where he wanted him because Ugas started feeling himself. He embraced the life, of having all the money, starting to get the having the fame, and started wearing new sunglasses and stuff like that. Choker chains, and that's what happens with a lot of these fighters. They get one big win. Next thing you know, they think that they're pound for pound number one, or they feel like they're some celebrity superstar or whatnot. And Ugas, you're just not. And shout out to Errol Spence. Errol Spence reminded you that you're just a regular guy with multiple losses who's still struggling with alopecia, no facial hair promotions. And unfortunately, you struggling with that little condition or whatnot. But stay humble, man. You got to stay humble, stay hungry. And I felt like that when Errol Spence beat his ass, it was just a reality check. Like, damn, I'm still ugly. I'm joking, but I'm still the same. No facial hair, multiple loss guy. I'm not a superstar. You're not. You're not a superstar, man. So, sometimes I like to see guys get humbled too. Especially guys that think that they all of that and think that they on top of the world or whatnot, just because they can buy a new chain. Yeah, get in there and let's see you get your ass whooped and see if you keep that same energy. And we see he didn't keep the same energy. Earl beat his ass. His eye was all swollen. I think he broke his eye socket or whatever. Um, it was a great performance from Errol Spence, and you know Errol's in a different space now too. But that's a different video. We're not gonna talk about Errol Spence, but um, with Ugas coming off being humbled by Errol Spence and the inactivity, will he be the same fighter? That's the question mark. I think this could be a 50-50 fight. Could be a 50-50 fight. I think that Barrios is going to bring it to Ugas. Now, I think that Ugas is more skilled. Cubans are gifted. They're gifted fighters. I think out the womb they just throw hands. Just they shadow box them right out of the womb. They just have the innate ability to fight. And maybe he went back to the drawing board. Maybe he found that fire. Excuse me. Maybe he found that fire, and he's going to be back in top form. And if he is the Ugas that we know him to be, I think he will get the victory. I don't think he'll knock out Barrios because I think Barrios is very, very tough. Either way, win, lose, or draw for Barrios, I think he's going to get respect because, like I said, I don't even think he's supposed to be in the welterweight division, but that's the money division. That's the more competitive division. Ain't no sense of hanging around with the lower weight classes with tanking them dudes. They ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? He could have fought maybe at 140, but maybe he's outgrown that. He's tall. He's 6 feet tall, man. So it probably was difficult for him to fight at 135 and 140. So I salute Barrios for stepping up and taking this challenge. Like I say, if Ugas is back in back as the fighter that we know him to be, he should get the victory. If not, if he's worried about the eye, if he's still having some doubts about himself coming off that loss to Errol Spence, then Barrios might pull it out. But hey, y'all leave y'all thoughts below. Who are you picking in this fight? And yeah, man, make sure you guys tune in to that card because PBC is doing their thing this year. Showtime, pay-per-view I'm not even sure how much the pay-per-view is, but I have to look it up after this video and see what that is. Whatever it is, I'm gonna pay for it. That's gonna be a great card. Also, like I say, got Erickson Lubin on that card, taking on Jesus Ramos, a list of other fighters as well. So that's all I got for this video. Best of luck to these two men. May the best man win. I'm the Black Horseman. Catch y'all on the next one.